Hey friends, welcome back to College Sports Corner. I'm Barry. Hey, it's Friday. We finally made it to the weekend. We're going to have some good games, looks like tomorrow, maybe even as good as the week before and the week one. So, hey, power's back on. The damn hurricane's long gone. The sun is out. It's time to get back to little normal things. Um, hey, if you like the show, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We're going to get down to some news and headlines right now before we get into tomorrow. Some weird news here. Gonzaga basketball coach Mark Few, evidently he was arrested Monday night for DUI. That's not good for him. Glad he didn't hurt anybody or hurt himself or anything. Louisville suspended basketball coach Chris Mock for 6 games this year for failure to follow school policies and guidelines. I looked to see what that was about. Couldn't find anything except that it goes back to last off season, I believe it was, problems they had, all the turmoil going on there. So he'll be suspended for 6 games. I would imagine he's going to do it probably in the first of the season before he gets into some serious games. So see what happens there. Purdue fans, Notre Dame says you can't bring your big drum to the game tomorrow. Evidently, they redid the visitors' tunnels, and they say the drum won't fit through there because it's so big, and the tunnels are smaller than they used to be. So, no big drum. I think what you band members ought to do is bring a tape measure with you and measure that tunnel just to see if they're fibbing to you. And if they are, videotape it and put it online for everybody to see. Anyway, as of now, no big drum, and I know it's sad for you guys because it's every day's the 100th birthday or 100th anniversary of the big drum. But anyway, get down to that mystery tomorrow and let us know if they're fibbing to you or if it's really the truth. Sad news here: LSU running back coach Kevin Falk, his daughter passed away this week. I never heard how or why, and frankly, it's none of my business. But he's going to step away from the team for a while to be with his family. And so prayers to you, Coach Falk, and your family. I know it's a very difficult time you're going through, but with sport, you'll get through it. Sorry to hear about your daughter. Hey, Portland State fans, you want some free beer tomorrow? Go to the Portland State game. Because evidently Coach Bruce Barnum said, hey, whoever comes to the game, I'll buy him a beer. What a heck of a guy, huh? Can't go wrong there. So if you're in the Portland area around Portland State University, go to the game tomorrow and get you a free beer. What a great guy, huh? American Athletic Conference, I guess after the Big 12 came and raided some of its teams, is now reportedly going after some Mountain West teams. Air Force, Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and even UAB from Conference USA. So they're trying to get those teams to join them. Personally, if I was in the Mountain West Conference, I probably wouldn't leave for another conference unless it was a Power 5. I mean, they got some good teams in that Mountain West Conference. So that's just me personally, I would say there. Last night, Ohio and Louisiana played. Louisiana beat them 49-14. Louisiana freshman Montel Johnson rushed for 4 touchdowns. Louisiana had 562 total yards in that game. Bobcats fall to 0-3. Raging Cajuns 2-1 now. Okay, tonight we got looks like 2 games. 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. UCF at Louisville. The last 2 games, UCF has cranked out 99 points and 1,244 total yards. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a battle there for Louisville. 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, Maryland at Illinois. Terps are 2-0. Illinois looking to get another win after that big win they had in week 0, they call it, over Nebraska. Since then, they've kind of fall flat and haven't really played too well, so they're looking to get another win. On to tomorrow, some pregame shows. Game day is going to be at the Auburn-Penn State game up there in State College. SEC Nation will be in Gainesville for the Florida-Alabama game. Big Ten Tailgate will be in Ann Arbor for the Northern Illinois-Michigan game. Fox Big Noon Kickoff will be in Norman, Oklahoma for the Nebraska-Oklahoma game. Remember that years ago, the game of the century? And then they had some good games in the 2000s, but I don't think tomorrow's game is going to match up to those games. But, hey, you never know. Scott Frost might have some surprises. We'll see. ACC Network's going to be in Chapel Hill for the North Carolina-Virginia game. That'll be pretty good. And I looked around, couldn't find anything for Pac-12 Network. I know they were going to do some limited shows on the road this year. Maybe this week wasn't one of them, or maybe I just couldn't find it. I don't know. So anyway, there's your Saturday pregame shows. I'm sorry. Let's get down some games. Noon Eastern on the ACC Network. Albany at Syracuse. Albany is 0-2. Syracuse is 1-1. Noon Eastern on ESPNU is Boston College at Temple. Eagles are 2-0. Owls are 1-1. Noon Eastern on ESPN. Cincinnati at Indiana. Cincinnati's 2-0. Indiana's 1-1. Indiana's looking to have a good season like they have the last few, but kind of sluggish start this year. Noon Eastern on ESPN2. Coastal Carolina at Buffalo. Coastal Carolina's 2-0. Buffalo's 1-1. Noon Eastern on ABC. Michigan State at Miami. Michigan State 2-0. Miami 1-1. Spartans have started off on fire, and the Hurricanes are, if you ask me, they're lucky to be 1-1. I mean, the way they played, they really should be 0-2, but I don't know. Somehow they found a way to pull them out in the end. Noon Eastern on Fox. Nebraska at Oklahoma, we just talked about. Nebraska's actually 2-1, so they've had a good start. Oklahoma's 2-0. The old Big 8 battle from the days long ago. Nebraska is 29th overall in offense and 98th in defense. So I don't know if that's going to help them out tomorrow. Noon Eastern on Big Ten Network. Northern Illinois at Michigan. Northern Illinois is 1-1. Michigan is 2-0. Jim Harbaugh has taken the Wolverines back to an old ground and pound running game, it seems. They've been really pounding the ball in these last couple of games. Noon Eastern on SEC Network. New Mexico at Texas A&M. Aggies are without Haynes King. He got injured last week during Colorado. New Mexico, they're not playing bad football, so Aggies might want to watch out for that one. Noon Eastern on ESPN Plus. Southeastern Missouri at Missouri. Southeastern Missouri's 0-2. Missouri's 1-1. Missouri didn't look too bad against Kentucky last week. They just couldn't get it done at the end. Noon Eastern ESPN Plus. Chattanooga at Kentucky. Chattanooga's 1-1. Kentucky's 2-0. Wildcats are a good team, especially their running game. They got that running back, Chris Rodriguez. That kind of seems a little bit underrated. Nobody's really talking about too much, but the games I've seen him play in, he's had pretty good games. It says here he has more rushing yards in 2 games than any other running back in Kentucky history. So keep an eye on him this year. He keeps that up. You never know. He might be in New York at the end of the year. Noon Eastern on ESPN Plus. Tennessee Tech at Tennessee. Tennessee Tech is 0-2. Tennessee's 1-1 after that loss to Pittsburgh last week. Noon Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Connecticut at Army. Connecticut's 0-3. Army is 2-0. Army's off to a good start. UConn, boy, they're just struggling. Got rid of their coach. I think they're just waiting for basketball season to start is what they're doing. Oh, well. Noon Eastern on FS1. Virginia Tech at Virginia. Old Big East rivals. These two always had good games in the past. Hopefully it will be tomorrow, too. Virginia Tech's 2-0. West Virginia 1-1. Hokies have won the last 3 games against West Virginia, even though West Virginia leads the series 28-23-1. Noon Eastern, no TV found. Western Michigan at Pitt. Western Michigan 1-0. Pitt 2-0. These two teams are Pitt's a good team, and Western Michigan ain't that bad. You figure at least be streaming somewhere, but maybe it was. I just didn't see it. Pitt's got a good quarterback in Kenny Pickett, but the Broncos have a good quarterback, running back in LB and Jefferson. Those 2 guys are on fire. 1 p.m. Eastern on Pac-12 Network. Minnesota at Colorado, both teams 1-1. 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Nevada at Kansas State, both those teams are 2-0. That might be a pretty good game. Both quarterbacks for those teams threw for over 300 yards last week and 6 touchdown passes between the 2 of them. So they got some pretty good quarterbacks playing in that game. 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC, Purdue at Notre Dame. Like we talked about Purdue, sorry guys. They're saying you can't bring your big drum, but I would check into that if I was you guys. Purdue, they could win this game because Notre Dame, they're lucky to win these last 2 games they've had. I mean, that One they had to beat Florida State in overtime, and last week was Toledo, I think it was, gave them a hell of a game, kind of pushed them all the way to the end. Purdue quarterback Jack Plummer, has already thrown for 528 yards and 6 touchdown passes this year. Their receivers David Bell and Payne Durham have 3 touchdown catches each. So they might tear up that Notre Dame defense. 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN3. Akron. Bryant's 1-1. Akron is 0-2. One of the big ones tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern, CBS, Alabama and Florida. Should be a pretty good game. Dan Mullen still says he doesn't have a quarterback controversy. Everybody else in America says he does, but hey, he's the coach. What do we know, huh? Jeez. Dan Mullen is 0-10 all time against Nick Saban. But Bama leads the series 27-14, winning the last 7 matchups they've had. Nick Saban wasn't happy with the way his team played last week. He said they were sluggish and just didn't seem interested. So I bet he got them turned around this week. You know they're going to be on fire coming out on tomorrow morning. Big question: will Florida start Richardson or Emory Jones? Who knows? Dan Mullen may start both. He may start the one with Emory Jones. I think played better than Richardson, but who knows? We'll see. It's probably going to be a game time decision if he's only going to go with one. So I guess we'll know tomorrow at 3:35. 3:30 Eastern, ESPN Plus. Baylor at Kansas. Baylor's 2-0. Kansas 1-1. Baylor had 714 total yards last week. Kansas going for their second straight win this season. They actually won a game. Jayhawks hadn't won a Big 12 opener since 2009 and have lost 12 straight conference games. So you know they're looking to end that streak. 3:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. Delaware at Rutgers. Both teams are 2-0. You never know. Delaware is looking to be one of those FCS teams that upset the FBS team this year. They want to add some more to those wins. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus. Alien at Appalachian State. Both teams are 1-1. 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Flow. I guess it's a streaming network. Flow, FLOF. I guess streaming. Eastern Michigan and Massachusetts. Eastern Michigan's 1-1. Massachusetts is 0-2. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. Florida State at Wake Forest. Florida State, they just can't catch a break. Lost that close one in overtime to Notre Dame. Lost last week, a heartbreaking loss in the last few seconds. So, you know, they're really hungry for a win. And Wake Forest is 2-0, so who knows? Wake Forest's 2 wins this season are against teams that didn't even play last year. So we're really not sure what the Demon Deacons are capable of. We'll just have to wait and see as the season goes on. But you never know. Florida State might get that first win tomorrow. Could be your lucky day, Noles fans. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, ABC, Georgia Tech at Clemson. Over the years, this has been a really good game. Last few years, it's kind of fallen off because Georgia Tech hasn't been that good. Yellow Jackets lead the series 50-33-2. Clemson has won 8 of the last 10 meetings, though. 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Pac-12 Network. Idaho at Oregon State, both teams 1-1. 3:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. Kent State at Iowa. Kent State's 1-1. Iowa's 2-0. Hawkeyes are a 22-point favorite in this game. But Kent State has created 8 turnovers so far this season. Watch out for that defense, Hawkeyes. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN+. Here we go. Long Island Post at Miami of Ohio. Here they are again, the Long Island Sharks. They're playing anybody. They don't care. They'll probably go play Alabama next week if they could. Both teams are 0-2, like I mentioned. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. SMU at La Tech. SMU is 2-0. Louisiana Tech is 1-1. SMU, they've come a long way since those death penalty days. They're going to bowl games now. They're winning a lot of games each season. That whole dead period after the death penalty, that's kind of over for them now. They're a pretty good football team. 3:30 Eastern on FS1. Tulsa at Ohio State. Tulsa 0-2. Ohio State 1-1. I kind of feel sorry for Tulsa. They're probably going to be the whipping boy this week because you know the Buckeyes are pissed about that game last week. So they're probably going to come out with everything, all their firepower, and just take it out on poor Tulsa. But, that's the way it goes. 3:30 Eastern on Fox. USC at Washington State. Both are 1-1. USC is going into this game without their coach, Clay Helton. They fired him earlier this week. I don't know who's going to replace him. I know people are talking about Urban Meyer, but Urban Meyer's saying, no, I ain't going, I'm staying here. And some people are talking about James Franklin at Penn State. No, once again, nobody's talking about Luke Fickell. Why not get Luke Fickell out there? He might like to go out there and coach. 4 p.m. Eastern, no TV found. Ball State at Wyoming. Ball State 1-1. The Cowboys are 2-0. 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU, Colorado State versus Toledo. Colorado State 0-2, Toledo 1-1. Rams still looking for that first win. They've gone off to a real rocky start, especially losing to South Dakota State that one night in their own turf. 4 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network, Georgia Southern at Arkansas. Georgia Southern 1-1, Arkansas 2-0. Razorbacks are a 28-point favorite. This is one of those games where last week you beat a big-time team, beat them badly. Everybody's talking about you. And then here comes Georgia Southern, a team that may not be on your level. Could be a trap game. Watch out. Not saying it is, but all of us college football fans know through history how many teams have thought they could roll their helmets out on the field and win, and then they got their ass whipped. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you never know. 4 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2, Mississippi State at Memphis. Both teams are 2-0. That could be a pretty good game. Could the Tigers upset the Bulldogs in the Liberty Bowl? A lot of history in that stadium. You never know. The ghost of the Liberty Bowl in there. Bulldogs, they had trouble against La Tech 2 weeks ago, and they just looked bad. 4 p.m. Eastern, ACC Network, Northwestern at Duke. Both teams are 1-1. Battle of the brains. Some highly educated football players playing each other there. Get this, Wildcats had 166 punt return yards last week. So the Northwestern's punt return team was getting it done. See what happens tomorrow. 4 p.m. Eastern, Pac-12 Network, Sacramento State of California. Sacramento State's 1-1, California 0-2. I don't know what's going on over there. 4:15 Eastern, Pac-12 Network, Arkansas State of Washington. Arkansas State 1-1. Washington at a measly 0-2. Let's see if the Huskies remember how to play football tomorrow. Think they will? I'm not giving you a hard time, Husky fans. I'm a Husky fan too, and it pisses me off that they're 0-2, but that's the way the ball bounces. 5 p.m. Eastern, ESPN3, Murray State at Bowling Green. Murray State 1-1. Bowling Green is 0-2. 6 p.m. Eastern on FCBK. I'm guessing that's another streaming service. I'm not really sure. Anyway, FCBK is going to have the East Carolina Marshall game. East Carolina is 0-2 and Marshall is 2-0. 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN3. Fordham at Florida Atlantic. Fordham is 0-2. Florida Atlantic is 1-1. What was that? 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Middle Tennessee at UTSA. Middle Tennessee 1-1. UTSA 2-0. Roadrunners are playing pretty good football this year. 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN3, Old Dominion at Liberty. Old Dominion is 1-1. Liberty is 2-0. Flames are playing some good football this year. 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus, Charlotte at Georgia State. Charlotte 2-0. Georgia State 0-2. 49ers are looking pretty good this year. 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus, Florida A&M at South Florida. Florida A&M 1-1. South Florida 0-2. Bulls looking for their first win. There's a time several years ago the Bulls were a pretty good team. I don't know what happened to them. 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus, Florida International at Texas Tech. Florida International is 1-1. Texas Tech is 2-0. 2 p.m. Eastern on 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Grambling at Houston. Both teams are 1-1. Another big one here is 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. South Carolina at Georgia. Both teams are 2-0. Bulldogs lead this series 52-19-2, but have only won 6 of the last 10 meetings. And if anybody's paid attention to this series, you know there's been a few times, especially over the last 10, 15 years, where Georgia is picked to win. Georgia's having a great season, predicted to do great, and then Gamecocks come in there, steal one from them, and then, well, if you've been paying attention to that series, Gamecocks, they tend to give Georgia a lot of fits throughout the years. Last time South Carolina went to Athens in 2019, they were 21-point underdogs to Georgia, who was ranked number 3. And the Gamecocks won that game by 3. So, like I said, keep an eye on it if you don't watch it. 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus. Troy at Southern Miss. Troy's 1-1. Southern Miss is 1-1. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN3. Incarnate Word at Texas State. Both teams are 1-1. It's going to be an I-35 showdown. And those teams are 30 miles apart, 40. I'm not sure. But they're just San Antonio and San Marcos, 7 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Utah State at San Diego State. Utah State's 1-1. San Diego State is 2-0. Utah trying to bounce back from that Holy War loss to BYU. Aztecs are playing good football right now, is what it says. I trust that. And it's Utah. I'm sorry. I think I said Utah State Aggies. No, Utah Utes are playing San Diego State. I apologize for that. Here's another big one. 7:30 Eastern. Auburn at Penn State. Tigers are averaging 61 points a game. It's pretty incredible. Out of the 4 total games played by these teams, Penn State has played the toughest team, Wisconsin. That was 2 weeks ago. But these teams have both played lower tier teams. So, Tiger quarterback Bo Nix right now has passed for 383 yards and 5 touchdowns. Auburn running back Hunter and Bigsby have both rushed for 100 yards in a game. Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford has 477 passing yards and 2 touchdowns so far. Nittany Lion receivers. Johan Dostin has 167 receiving yards, and running back Noah Kane has 117 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. This is the 3rd meeting between these teams. Penn State beat Auburn in the 96 Outback Bowl, and Auburn repaid them in the 2003 Capital Bowl and won that one. 7:30 Eastern, SEC Network. Central Michigan at LSU. Both teams are 1-1. LSU's O-line, that needs a lot of work. Being an LSU fan, I just any other year, I'd pick LSU in this game, but the way LSU's playing this year, who knows? I mean, Central Michigan might come up. This game might be one of those coin flip games. 7:30 Eastern, no TV found. Sorry if you're a Furman or North Carolina State. Maybe out there somewhere, I couldn't find it. Furman 2-0, North Carolina State 1-1. Wolfpack offense has been really sluggish this year. They need to clean it up because they got Clemson next week. Furman is winning this series 8-5-4 over the years. 7:30 Eastern, Pac-12 Network, Stony Brook at Oregon. Stony Brook 1-1, Oregon 2-0. Hey, just like we talked about the Arkansas game, this game you never know. Remember, Fresno State gave Oregon a hell of a game a couple weeks ago. Oregon's coming off that big emotional win against Ohio State. And Stony Brook, they're an FCS team looking for a win over an FBS team to add to that record going this year. So don't think Stony Brook could beat Oregon, but this is college football. You never know. If you don't believe me, remember that 1998 Temple Virginia Tech game? Huh? All right. 7:30 Eastern. I couldn't find anything on TV on this either. UAB at North Texas. Both teams are 1-1. 7:30 Eastern on FS2. Utah State at Air Force. 2 undefeated Mountain West teams. This might be a pretty good game. If you don't watch it, just keep an eye on the score or switch back. During the commercial break, go check on it and see what's going on. 7:30 Eastern, ACC Network. Virginia at North Carolina. Virginia 2-0. North Carolina is 1-1. Good old ACC matchup that could be pretty good. Hey, in 2 meetings for Virginia, Tar Heels quarterback Sam Howell is 38-59, 796 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Sam Howell is finally playing this year like we figured he probably would. He looked too good in that Virginia Tech game that they lost. He's now starting to look more like he did last year, and even times a little better. This is the 126th meeting between these two. Carolina leads at 63, 58, and 4. But Virginia has won the last 4, so there's something to think about. 8 p.m. Eastern, ESPN3, Alcorn State at South Alabama. Alcorn State's 1-1, South Alabama 2-0. 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN3, Jackson State at Louisiana Monroe. Jackson State 2-0, Louisiana Monroe 0-1. 8 p.m. Eastern, no TV found. Rice at Texas. Rice is 0-2. Texas is 1-1. Longhorns looking to redeem themselves from that loss last week. Just like Ohio State's got a whipping boy, Rice could be Texas' whipping boy because they're pissed off about that game last week and all the things people are saying about them all this week. So I like Rice. I'm a fan of Rice. I hope not, but it is what it is. 8 p.m. Eastern on FLOF, I guess, the streaming service. South Carolina State and New Mexico State. South Carolina State's 0-2. New Mexico State's 0-3. Couple teams looking to dig themselves out of the cellar. 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Stanford and Vanderbilt. Both teams are 1-1. Another battle of the brains. Got a lot of smart players on that field. Their IQs are probably 200. They probably scored 4,000 on their SATs. 8 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2. Tulane at Ole Miss. Tulane 1-1. Ole Miss is 2-0. Can Tulane play in that game against Ole Miss like they did Oklahoma a couple weeks ago? If they can do that, they might be able to surprise Ole Miss. 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Oklahoma State at Boise State. Oklahoma State 2-0. Boise State 1-1. I feel Oklahoma State's kind of lucky to be 2-0. Seems like more they should be 1-1 with the way they played. They better be careful, though. Boise State at home on the blue turf. They've been tough over the years. This is the perfect setup for Oklahoma State to lose a game. All right, late night football fans. Here is your late night schedule. For us late nighters, they're going to be up until late Saturday night, early Sunday morning because of the last game I'll tell you about. 10 p.m. Eastern, Pac-12 Network. Northern Arizona at Arizona. Northern Arizona 0-2. Arizona's 0-2. Both of them looking to win a first game of the year. Arizona, man, those guys are on a 14-game losing streak. I mean, going back from last year. And something's got to turn around, right? I mean, the only way's up. And from what I'm looking at their record and the way they play, they're at the rock bottom, right? Only way's up. 10:15 Eastern on ESPN. Arizona State at BYU. Both teams are 2-0. This could be a pretty good game. Get this. The Sun Devils have a pretty good versatile quarterback, Jaden Daniels. He can pass and run. He's 165 rushing yards, or passing yards, I'm sorry. 165 rushing yards, 307 passing yards so far this year. Can't read my notes. BYU's looking to win 3 games straight against Pac-12 teams this year. And let's see here. What else we got? 10:30 Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Iowa State at UNLV. Iowa State 1-1. UNLV 0-2. Really thought Iowa State would be... If they weren't 2-0, they fought hard to be 1-1. Because the way they played against Iowa just spanked them. I mean, there's no nice way to say it. They just spanked the hell out of them. So that game wasn't even close. 10:45 Eastern, Pac-12 Network. Fresno State at UCLA. Fresno State 2-1. UCLA 2-0. Another potentially good game playing in the Rose Bowl. Bulldogs gave Oregon a scare. UCLA has some weaknesses that LSU exposed, but I think they had the week off last week, so they've had a week to work on that. So, Chip Kelly, he'll fix those problems. And this is what I was talking about. College football freaks who like to stay up late Saturday, early Sunday. 12:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1. It's on TV. San Jose State at Hawaii. San Jose State 1-1. Hawaii 1-2. It's a shame Hawaii isn't better because this could be a really good game, but I'll watch it anyway. It's always good football Saturday when college football ends at 2 or 3 a.m. Sunday morning, isn't it? I mean, don't you agree? I mean, look at all those hours you got watching football. All right, so that's it for this week. We'll be back Tuesday to review all these games, to preview Thursday's games. And we'll have news and headlines and all that, anything that happens over the next few days. Hey, like I said, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. This is just a channel to have fun and go over some things. And if you have any comments about any of the games or who you think is overrated or underrated, put it in the comments and we can all talk about that. Anyway, hey, have a great weekend. Enjoy football. Be safe, be careful, and we will see you back next week.